to Fast Guard News. I'm Dwight Gibson.
I'm Roderick Payne.
And today we want to talk to you about public safety. Well, public safety in terms of schools back to school, public parks, and even events with it being football season, a lot of little league football games, a lot of
High school football
games, people coming and going that may or may not have weapons on them.
So,
or worse.
Since it's back to school, right? Let's think about how school has changed since me and you were in high school. I see that most schools
5 years ago.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. Who's counting? Most schools are opting in now for metal detectors. I remember when we were in high school, like we used to see the kids in New York have to walk through metal detectors, and we were like, "Oh man, schools must be terrible." And now it's becoming a normal thing. It's all over the United States. Why? Why are the metal detectors now?
Well, because they've found weapons on kids in school and had to have police actually arrest people for attempted murder on campus.
Or even worse, they don't find weapons and people come in and start spraying people. Yeah. There's a commercial out right now, and the commercial went viral, and it's showing kids like this is the guy. So it's showing kids get into a situation like they're showing gifts that their mom bought them. They're like, "Hey, Mom, thank you for buying me the skateboard." And you see other kids trying to climb out the window. You see him breaking the window with the skateboard.
My mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I needed for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Who sponsored this commercial?
I think it was a .org. I got to look up who it was, but I believe it was a .org. And so what they're doing is bringing light to the fact of what we've been talking about for over a year, that schools should be so hardened and so filled with security that you go to school and you try something against the babies, it's a death sentence. You're not walking out. There's no trial. They're going to hold court right there. Judge, jury, executioner right there on site. When that happens, then you'll see it slow down. But the reality is that people are going to schools because they are
soft targets.
They soft targets. There's really no, they might have one resource officer. We see what happened over here in Parkland,
or a security guard, and I say that lightly, a security guard that has on a shirt that says security with the school colors, but it's not really a security
Yeah, they
guard.
did that Guardian program or something. Nothing wrong with it. This is what the county came and said after Parkland. We're making a law. This is what it is. But reality-wise, how effective is it? You need to have a small police department in a school. And because police are so expensive, you need to have a small squad of security that's there that understand the protocols, take their job seriously, train constantly, because that's what they're there for. They're not there to look cool or to wear gold chains. They are there to respond to active, heightened threats and protect them kids with their life if they have to. If that happens, then, I think it becomes a much safer situation. But until then, they caught kids, all of these big Stanley cups and all of these big brand name cups are now made out of metal. They caught kids recently, the year's only started, I think, 1 week now, 9mm magazine inside of one of the water bottles. Now, what they were bringing the magazine for, it was fully loaded. We don't know. Maybe they had pieces of a gun and something else, and that one got caught, so they backed up. But they were bringing it inside of a school, and you look at that and you wonder, why? It's because people know that the security is not adequate. Again, think about when we were in school. They had our school resource officer, and they had our coach running around with a walkie-talkie, real buff, and a few other coaches running around, and that was it. There was no other police present. Those guys may have been trained a little bit on security. They weren't licensed guards.
Yeah, and it was multiple entry points.
Multiple entry points.
Now most schools have closed it down to a single entry point. So
Even our old alma mater? Really?
single entry point. They have gates at all the entrances. So it's like you're not getting in now unless you drive a tank.
Yeah,
and
but
you-
the
and
school
you
board
drive through the gate.
the school board has their own SWAT team, but I believe it's going to take more than that. You need to have a small team that's trained in those type of operations, how to clear. Because we look at Uvalde or whatever it was, where the babies, they went in and they were at a school. I think it was in Texas, and they had the officers waiting outside, and parents was like, "Hey, my kids are in that school. You need to let me in." And the police were holding the parents at gunpoint to keep them back until they had enough officers, because as per policy, they couldn't go in with just one. And this guy's in there, or whoever it was, I think it was a young lady, is in there chopping kids in half. And it's like, you're waiting outside. We hear kids screaming. As a parent, I would run in and give my life. Forget about my life. Let me get in here and say to these babies, and you telling me to hold on, chill? So, you look at stuff like that, and it's like, those are nightmares, and I think that commercial kind of brings it home. I kind of liked it low-key. I wouldn't promote it like that because some people took it the real wrong way, and especially people that have lost children, they were like, what are you advertising? But that's the reality of the situation we're in as a society.
But in order to get people's attention, sometimes you got to ruffle some feathers.
1,000%.
That's exactly what that commercial did.
Correct. So, the other, if we were given some tips, it's back to school. Be ready for the schools to be metal detected up. Be ready for active shooters. Unfortunately, it's school time. The sporting events at the schools.
Well, most of those you got to walk through a metal detector and empty your pockets. So
They've changed it.
yeah, they changed.
And do you think that's for the good or for the bad?
I think it's for the good. At least you can walk in now. At least feeling safer than before. Because
Think about the perception, though. You come, like, say if I been in outer space for the last 20 years. When I graduated from high school, you come to the game, leave, you might have your little thing with some liquor in it or something, and you hang out at the game. Now you got a police officer up front of the gate, you got security doing pat downs, you got a metal detector. It's like, wait, doesn't it give the perception of this place is like way too dangerous for me to even come in?
well, you could have that perception, or you could have the perception that they're taking the proper precautions to make sure that I can go in here alive and come out alive. Because years ago, it was a football game where gunshots were fired
At the game.
in the stands. Players on the field mid-play dropped to the ground and took cover, and gunshots were fired in the game.
That's craziness.
Yeah.
That's so the last big game that I went to, like with the and this, we're talking about youth league football here, all the way up to 13. We went to the Super Bowl last year, and at the Super Bowl, they probably had, I would say, they didn't give it time, it was 5,000 people out there. It was a lot of people. It was a sea of people. And the field is nice. It's in a nice city. The city has money. They had a few police out there scattered around. But at the front door, they had one security guard. There was a couple of them, one doing the exit, one doing the
Zero
entrance.
pat down.
Listen, when I went and put my gun back, because I was like, man, we're going into the Super Bowl. The police are out here. We're protected. I walked up to the front, and I watched him pat down probably about 40 people that were in line before me. And I watched it go from real pat down. I'm talking about in the sequence. Real pat down to, you're good. You're good. You're good. Hey, man, nice seeing you, man. You're good. I was like, he's not patting anybody down. Everybody has a gun in there. This is what I'm saying in my mind. And I'm with my kids. I'm like, hey, man, y'all hold on 1 second. What is it? Hey, I'll be right back. Let me run to the car. Because he didn't check no bags. He didn't do, and it's sad because they put him up there. And like I said, 5,000, one entrance, 5,000 people. And one guy doing all the pat downs for the full day, for the full game. And, we talked about that before, how people are, it's overkill. Nobody's a machine.
Right.
And so, yeah, that kind of changes things. It changed my perception, even as a security professional. I've been called as an expert on the subject matter of security. And I felt nervous there because, and I leaned to the side and told him when I was leaving, of course. I didn't want him to start really acting up. But I was like, do you have backup? Like, how many guys? He was like, oh, it's 4 of us out here in total. I said, 4 guys for 5,000 people? said, okay, all right. I said, hey, man, you might want to take a break, maybe rotate. Maybe I should rotate. He was like, man, I've been doing security for, telling me his whole resume. I walked away at that point because there's nothing else to talk about. I'm trying to give you a tip. Like, I'm in here with my gun.
Why you got a gun?
Yeah, I'm in here with my gun.
He's supposed to be checking.
I'm pretty sure people
no
in here.
come in. Yeah.
So, bottom line, schools, school events. And that goes for basketball and soccer as well. We've seen people get into shootouts over soccer. Let's not make this all about football. I just said football because it's football season. But the fall does come with, school and football. And lastly, I think the public locations.
Parks.
We just seen in
hiking
Boynton.
trails.
Yeah, Boynton Beach. Most recently, they had what was called Peace in the Hood.
Peace in the Hood. Yeah, it was an event, and I guess some kids from rival gangs. They said.
I didn't even know we
fire in
had
public.
gangs down here.
Yeah.
Open fire, and then they showed the video, and you see the kids running backwards, shooting like this, trying to do some matrix stuff, and they caught everybody almost immediately. I think those kids were arrested within 24 hours. I don't think anybody was over 21.
I don't know the ages of the kids, but
And I think one dead and
there
2 or
are
3 wounded.
There are cameras at the park that caught everything.
That's incredibly stupid. Incredibly stupid and a big loss. Like, people were really out there trying to celebrate bringing the community together.
Right.
And people took advantage of that. They say, okay, they're out here. We call them slipping. Let's go get them. And we have to be cognizant of that. Now, what I did hear on the background of the event is that they applied for a special event permit and was denied. So the attorney,
Really? They applied for an event permit and were denied.
And they've had it years before. So they knew they were going to do it, or people were going to be out there. The police said because the police statement, Boynton Beach police statement was that because the city denied their permit, they would have inadequate law enforcement to help assist. So they begged them not to have the event. Instead of, when they start seeing the gathering, let me heighten patrols over here. We just gonna block off the block, shut it down. That would have prevented the whole thing. This is what the attorney's saying. They had power to shut it down. You have manpower, shut it down. Instead, you let it all go on, try to look the other way. And then this happened. Would the police being there be a big difference? 1,000%. But again, you can't say all the time.
So there was no police presence?
No police,
at all?
no security. And this is at a park. So it's at a city maintained park. And these type of things happen.
Well, then you get into a situation. So if the police would have decided, hey, your permit was shut down, your permit was denied, so we're going to stop you from gathering in public, which is, a right as an American citizen.
Well, large public gathering, they say it was up to 500 people out there. So that's, you asked to have a block party. They told you no.
Right.
And you said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. You have to shut that down, I believe, unless it's like a small house party. And back when me and you were in high school, we would go to block parties. I think out of 10 block parties we went to in our maybe high school career, I would say a good 5 or 6 of them ended in gunfire. And this is back in the 90s. I think at least 5 or 6 I've been at where I ran to the car, ducking and running because somebody got into a shootout. It's the streets. You're in the street. A lot of times we go to block parties, not even know whose party it is. We don't know who started it. We're just riding through, talking to girls, doing our thing. And this is where young kids like to congregate. That's why I wanted to bring it up on this episode. It's sad that as a community, and this goes for white, black, Hispanic, Asian, everybody seems to be having problems right now when there's large gatherings. And it's not just the black thing. It's not just the white thing. It's an American thing. Yeah. And so we got to force ourselves. If you're throwing together, because what's going to happen now is the person that threw that event, the person that went and applied for that thing and got denied is about to get sued. Wrongful death, one person died and then injuries, and then whoever ran and maybe bumped their car, the lawsuit's going to come pouring in.
Right.
And it creates a problem. And when all you had to do was either do things the right way or not do them at all, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of people put security on the back burner until you need security. Like,
correct.
It's rare that we get people that call in, and even large companies that have major events. Sometimes we get large companies that call us and, hey, we need event security. When's your event? 2 days.
Yeah.
How long have you been planning?
We've been planning this over a year,
over
but
a year.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, our budget is only. Whoa.
There's no budget.
Right.
There's no budget. If
So
like
a lot of people put it on the back burner, and then they realize how important it is. Usually when it's too late.
correct.
Yeah.
And that's the major thing is like part of what we're doing is to raise awareness. We're here as an informational piece, educational piece to give what we've learned in all of these years of experience in providing security guard service to try to help you. It's not to try to take anything. Like we're going to be in business regardless. The issue is that one lawsuit, if it's large enough, if you're throwing an event, could put you completely out of business. Could put you in jail, depending on the state you're in. So you have to be realistic about the coverage you need. They should have 1,000% not done that. The parks, you need to demand that they have some type of security presence. Some parks have rangers, but the ones that don't, like every park, we know when we were growing up, remember they say, oh man, you know, all the perverts hanging down at the park. Like it's been a problem. Block parties have been a problem. People are still gonna have them. We get calls all the time. We're having a block party. We just did one 4th of July. Having a block party. We're going to have those pods out there where the security guard's going to be up in the pod overseeing this. Sure, no problem. At least they're being proactive. Did it prevent anything from happening? Yeah, it prevented a lot, right? But on the flip side, it was a couple $100 that, which in turn will save them millions if somebody gets injured and there was no security out there. There's nobody out to disperse the crowd.
Well, if you're looking for a security service or if you want a budget for your next event, you can find us online at www.fastguardservice.com or you can call us 844-254-8273. We'd love to hear from you and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you and have a good day.
Have a nice one.